How you doing?
Good. I'm Officer Grassman, California Highway Patrol. The reason I'm stopping you is your registration's expired.
Yeah.
Do you have your driver's license on you?
I don't have a driver's license.
You don't have a driver's license?
No, I returned it to the DMV.
You returned it to the DMV?
Yeah, in
Why?
December of 2019.
Why?
I mean, the truth is that the state is ran by very evil people, man, and I
Okay.
just don't need permission to drive from guys that wage war all over the world and do terrible things to children.
Okay.
I guess you could say I'm a tax protester.
Okay. Do you have insurance for the vehicle?
No, sir.
No? Okay.
And to help you out, I probably have a bench warrant out for non-payment to traffic court.
Okay.
I'm not a bad dude.
Any alcohol to drink for you tonight?
Oh, no, sir.
When was the last time you had any alcohol?
Probably like last Thursday, maybe.
Last Thursday? Okay. Where are you living right now? Yeah, looks like this is still valid. Okay. So, just out of curiosity, so you gave back your driver's license because the people who run the state of California are evil.
Well, not just the state, but the entire government. I just,
Why do you have a passport?
because if I don't have a passport, it's just so difficult to navigate the system. I make small compromises just like everybody else does, but I try to live as authentically to my belief system as possible, man. And
Okay. I'm
I'm
trying to understand. So.
I have a really hard time allowing the system to utilize my efforts to wage war all over the place, man, all
Okay.
over the place. And so
Okay.
that's where I'm at.
Do you believe in following? Do you believe that everybody should follow the rules?
I believe that everybody should follow the natural laws of human interaction. Those are the rules ingrained within each and every one of us, but the rules that...
I can't with the train going by.
my apologies. I believe that each and every one of us have the natural laws of human interaction ingrained within us,
Okay.
which basically says all interaction should be voluntary. And so I believe in those rules, but I don't believe in the rules imposed upon us by a system that is obviously broken and not serving the people and perpetuates poverty and war.
Okay.
And so I just...
So then, if the government didn't wage war, would you get registration, insurance, and a driver's license?
I would certainly be open to engaging with systems that were based on voluntary interactions that were good ideas. There's a lot of things about the DMV and about the government and about law enforcement that are good ideas, but when there's literally a gun to my head, these lights are intimidating. You got a gun on your hip.
My
And
gun is not to your head. I haven't touched it once since I walked up.
it's figurative, right? I mean, if you were off duty, you wouldn't have stopped me, because
I don't have the authority to stop you because I'm not law enforcement.
exactly, and your authority is derived from your belief in government. I just don't believe in government. It's a really terrible idea that has caused so much suffering.
Okay.
I
Right.
really...
Do you have any weapons on you?
Oh, no, sir.
No? All right. Stand the vehicle. I'll be right back.
Sure. Every time you vote, you just vote to support more of this system, more of the tyranny.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
So here is your passport back.
Oh, thank you.
I checked. You do not have any bench warrants.
Oh, I don't? Oh, oh my God, you made my
You're-
night.
you're
Oddly
completely-
enough.
You've been completely honest with me. You surrendered your driver's license. Your license is expired, like you mentioned. Unfortunately, we do live in a representative government where we elect people who make laws for us, and some of those laws are that you have.
I don't vote. I didn't elect any of these people.
But that's the society that we live in, okay? And those are the laws that were enacted.
I
Okay?
get where you're coming from.
So I understand that you don't agree with those laws. Totally understand that. But based on those laws, I am going to issue you a citation for not having a license,
Okay.
okay? For not having insurance, and a fixed ticket for not having the registration, okay?
Okay.
The registration, the insurance, well, let me start with the registration. If you get the registration brought up to date, I understand you don't want to, but if you do, that can be signed off.
Okay.
Insurance cannot be signed off by officers, but if you get insurance, sometimes the judges will sign those off as correctable. Okay.
Okay.
And actually, as a matter of fact, no driver's license is a correctable violation as well. That can be corrected through the courts as well.
Okay.
I understand you don't want to do that. I totally understand that, but those are the laws and those are what's required based on the municipality that we live in. Okay.
Hey, what was your first name?
Matt.
Matt, I'm Steven, man.
Steven?
I genuinely feel like you heard me tonight, and I appreciate that.
I disagree with how you got to where I disagree with where you got to, but I understand how you got there.
You've seen how crazy the world's been over the last 3 years.
It is.
Yeah.
But we live in a republic, which means that whether or not you vote or not, right? We don't get to vote directly on the laws. We elect people to vote or to pass those laws. I don't always agree with all those laws.
Sure.
But I'm charged with upholding those laws, right?
I get you. I get you.
I'm not going to give an opinion on whether or not I believe with these laws, but these are my job.
Sure.
To enforce those laws
Mhm.
and to make sure people don't speed, make sure they don't steal cars, right? And make sure they don't violate your rights.
I'm all for having a system where we seek justice and make remedy for a victim, and
Sure.
I'm all for that.
Sure.
I love
So,
that.
I am gonna issue a citation for this today. I'm gonna ask that you sign in this red box by
Sure.
saying you're not admitting any guilt. You're just promising to take care of this matter with the court. Okay.
Sure. I'm going to put my key back in.
I
So
will not reach into your vehicle, but would you mind rolling down this window just a little bit?
I'm just putting my key back in so I can do
I
that
got that.
a little bit.
So just
Thank you.
in that red box, kind of by where your thumb is.
Sure.
It's not an admission of guilt. You're just promising to take care of this matter with the court. Just be advised that if you don't seek some sort of resolution with them, whether that's just, hey, I'm guilty, I'm going to pay the fine, I don't want to correct any of these, but I'm just going to pay it, or you get all this stuff taken care of, whatever you do, just make sure you do so. You contact the court and you set something up, because if you don't, they will issue a bench warrant.
Sure.
So, and then they will likely suspend your driver's license.
Well, I don't have one to suspend.
On that note, okay,
Sure.
not having a driver's license, your vehicle could be impounded for up to 30
I know.
days.
I've lost
I'm
the
not going to do
vehicle.
that today because you have been so respectful.
I really appreciate that. I really do.
I'm going to advise you that you aren't allowed to drive. You're an adult. I'm not going to babysit you. Okay?
Thank you.
But if I go down the road and I happen to see you later and I stop you, I've told you that you're not supposed to drive, and then I'm kind of left with little choice but to impound your vehicle.
Sure.
So
I get it,
if there's
man.
somebody that you know that can come pick up the car, that's totally cool, that has a license. You want to park it here and just... basically what I'm telling you, you're not allowed to drive out on the road without a license.
Are you letting me go home tonight with
Not
my
with you
citation?
not with you driving. You can't. I'm giving you a lawful order not to drive the vehicle because you don't have a driver's license.
I understand.
Okay?
Okay.
So, this is your copy of the citation. The phone number for the court is right here. On the back is a set of instructions. It talks about correctable violations down here and how to correct them. There's also a website address up here at the top that you can visit. Either way, it'll give you the phone number, or the website will get
Sure.
you to the location where they will get you your information to resolve this matter with the court.
So
Do you have any questions of me before I leave?
what you're saying right now is I need to have somebody come pick me up. If you see this car on the road tonight going home, you're going
So
to
yeah, a couple
arrest
things.
me.
If somebody else, no, I'm not going to arrest you. I mean, I could, because I gave you a lawful order that you disregarded.
Sure.
But what I'm saying is that if somebody else stops you, they don't know that I told you that I gave you a lawful order. But they could run your license and see that you don't have a driver's license and just elect to impound your vehicle right there and then.
I know.
What
I
I'm saying
know
is
that's a risk I
that
take.
I work in this area and it's 3:11 a.m.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cars on the road. If I see your car driving and you're in the driver's seat, I have personal knowledge that you don't have a license. I'm going to stop you and I'm going to impound the car because I gave you a lawful order not to drive.
Matt, will you grant me the permission to make it home tonight? I'll make it home tonight, and we can take care of this.
You basically have told me that through the way you've explained your worldview is that you're not going to get a driver's license. It's not like you're like,
But
oh shoot, man, I completely forgot that it expired.
Sure. I get that. I
Right?
get that.
You've surrendered your driver's license.
Yeah.
You made the personal
Form DL
decision
142.
to give up your right to drive.
But you know that doesn't make me unsafe. You didn't pull me over for suspicion of dangerous driving.
No, I
It's
understand that.
if it was
but the
noon,
law is
it
the
would
law,
be so
right?
much
And
easier.
I know you don't agree with that, and we disagree on that idea and that principle, but it's a combination of the fact that you don't have insurance. You don't have registration.
I drive very
You don't.
carefully.
It doesn't matter.
I know.
You're
I
using
know.
the roads and you're not paying for them.
I serve my community a lot.
Okay.
I really do.
But
I really,
California
really do.
pays for the roads off the motor vehicle fund, which is paid through out of the registration for the vehicle.
Which you're threatening if I don't pay, you're going to steal my car from
No.
me.
I would impound the vehicle because you don't have a driver's license, and that's what the vehicle code says.
All of that is at its root. You're coercing me through the threat of force that I've got to pay. Matt, I don't want to get caught up in those arguments tonight. I would really like to make it. If it was noon, it would be so much easier to call somebody.
I understand.
But it's
that.
not noon. It's 3 in the morning.
What I'm telling you is that I've given you a lawful order, and I stand by that lawful order that you're not to drive a vehicle without a driver's license. If you do choose to drive, you run the risk of having your vehicle impounded. Okay. I think I've been more than fair and not just impounding your vehicle off the start after you told me
I really
the things that you
appreciate
told
that.
me, right? I mean, honestly, I probably should, based on what you've told me, because
I don't think
I
you
know
should.
that you're not going to get a driver's license. I have reason to believe that you're probably not going to correct the registration or the insurance because you don't believe that you have to or you need to. Okay? But I'm telling you what the California Vehicle Code says.
Yeah, I know. I
Okay?
know.
And whether or not you agree with it, you, by getting behind the wheel of a vehicle, you agree to abide by those laws. Whether or not you're going to,
Sure.
that's what you agree to do. When you get behind the wheel of a vehicle and you get on the road that's regulated by law, if you're on your own property and you're driving on your own property, aside from drinking and driving, you can do whatever you want, right? As long as it's not endangering somebody else.
I get you.
But we're on public roadway, which is maintained by public funds, which are paid for by the motor vehicle fund, which is paid for by paying our registration. Right? That car
The
right
DMV
there,
has never been audited, so I don't know where that money goes. They don't audit the DMV. They never have.
okay.
It comes up every year, but they always say no, we're not going to audit the DMV. So I really don't know where that money goes.
Okay, well, they're not printing the money and just making it up.
No, they're just taking it from all of us.
So what?
They're just taking it from all of us
Yeah, when you pay your registration.
under the threat of force.
Well, ultimately, yeah, that's how laws are enforced.
Yeah,
Right.
well,
I
at
mean,
its core,
murder is enforced by threat of force by law enforcement to prevent you from murdering somebody else.
but murder creates an injured party. Me driving down the road, not paying the DMV doesn't create an injured party. I'm actually the injured party in this situation.
There's like 40 to 50,000 people that die every year at the hands of vehicles, right?
And that has nothing to do with licensing or registration.
Well,
Registration
the licensing
doesn't
is how
stop
we
it.
ensure that people comply with what the rules of the road are. You have to pass a test, and whether or not that test is strict enough, it is a basic standard that says that you are safe to drive a vehicle.
I haven't been tested since I was 16. Nobody's checked on me since I was
'Cause you
16.
don't
And
have a license.
I was an idiot when I
Because
was
you don't
16.
have a license.
Well, not in.
Because you haven't gone and taken your license test.
No, I did. I had a license
So-
up until 2019. December 2019. That's when I
but
returned it.
In 4 years, you haven't had a license, so you haven't
Correct.
been rechecked.
Well, and I hadn't been rechecked since 95 through 2019. I was never rechecked. I just paid my fees and renewed my license every
Okay.
however many years it took.
So if you want them to change the rules on how licenses are issued, vote and vote for somebody who says that they'll do what you want them to do.
But that never
That's how
happens.
representative government works.
That's how it's supposed to work, but it never works that way. No matter who's in office,
So then run for
things
office.
keep. I can't morally accept money that is ill-gotten
So
gains.
don't take that money.
How can I run for office and not take any money? What am I going to do to feed myself?
Grassroots campaign. I'm giving
No,
you.
I'm saying if I
options.
had a job,
I mean,
if
we're
I got
well beyond
elected.
the stop right now. I'm giving you options on how to work past the issues that you have with government. I'm telling you, you live in a country that is governed. All countries have governments.
And I think just
And
because
if you don't
everybody's
agree
kind of
with the way
screwy.
that this country's run, you can find a different location that doesn't have these rules, so that way you can live your life the way that you see fit. But until you choose
That's
to
the
do that,
problem.
you live in this country, you live in this state, which has these laws that you have to obey by. What I'm telling you is that based on those laws, I'm giving you a lawful order not to drive, and if you drive, your vehicle will be subject to being impounded.
All right, man.
So
Matt, I appreciate
choose to
how
do with that
kind
what
you've
you
been up
it's
to
a
this
free
point.
country. You have free will, but with those decisions come consequences.
I I homeschool my daughter.
I homeschool my daughter too.
If it wasn't 3 o'clock in the morning, it would be so much easier to get a ride. I would just
I
really
understand
appreciate
that.
if I could just.
I cannot do that.
If you see me tomorrow, get me.
I can't. We can't make a trade. This isn't a bartering system.
I'm not asking for a trade. I'm just asking for a little bit of leniency because I'm not a bad guy.
I did give you leniency. I did.
You have.
Your vehicle.
You have. I just want to be able to make it home without my vehicle impounded. Also,
and I know, and I understand that you want to make it home. I stopped you for a simple fix-a-ticket infraction for the expired registration, and lo and behold, I discover what I discover. I didn't stop you because I knew that this is what the result of this was going to be.
Sure, I get that.
I stopped you to find out what the issue was and to find out what the compliance was with the registration. And lo and behold, you don't have insurance and you don't have a driver's license.
Right.
I can't change that. Only you can. Right? I didn't put myself in this position. You put yourself in this position, and now I'm forced to act.
In fairness, you put me in this position.
No.
Well, look, if you didn't have that gun, I wouldn't even be listening to you. I'd be on my way. But it's the overall threat of force that if I don't listen to you,
nothing you've done today would cause me to even touch my gun.
No, the point is, if I were to drive this car, you're gonna. If I were to resist you impounding my car, if I were to try to drive home, then that would encourage you to use your gun. Yeah.
No, I wouldn't use my gun to do that.
But I would just naturally resist being kidnapped.
That kind of resistance wouldn't rise to the threat of deadly force.
And that's fair because I'm not I can't ever win on the side of the road with a police officer.
I'm sorry, one more time?
I said I could never win on the side of the road with a police officer in a forceful situation. It would never work out for me.
There's nothing to win. You're in violation of the law. Whether or not you agree with that, that's the law in the book in the municipality that you live in.
You know, the Declaration of Independence, the very first rule for government is that government derives its powers from the consent of the governed. So I've withdrawn my consent
by voting for people who pass laws.
I don't consent.
It doesn't matter if you consent.
I hear
Other people, you lost that election by not voting, and for not voting for people who will pass laws that you agree with. You've lost that argument.
But it never happens. The people that win elections never do what the people want.
What's that?
The people who win elections never actually do what the populace wants.
That's a separate issue.
Well, this is why I don't vote.
If you don't vote,
my vote's wasted. I don't want to waste my time.
It's not a wasted vote. Because if you and everybody else like you thinks that way and they never vote, well, guess what? You're never going to affect the change that you want to see happen.
I wholeheartedly disagree with you. I think not voting is a bigger voice than voting.
This isn't a place to have a political debate.
I get you.
I'm walking you through with how I got here to where I am. Okay. I'm not just doing it because I'm badge hungry or badge heavy or power heavy. People voted. We got laws. One of those laws enacted the California Highway Patrol, and as part of our agreement and consent with the people of California, it's to.
I didn't consent, Matt.
You don't have to consent. You get behind the wheel of a vehicle, and by doing so, you consented to this.
So again, I'm forced. So I really appreciate how you've been tonight. I really, really do. I've had less than
and I'm sorry about that. That shouldn't happen. Okay.
I agree because I'm not a bad guy.
You also should be in compliance with the law.
I don't agree with that, but I understand how you come from that point. I get it. I get it.
So I don't agree with carpool, but I have to stay out of the carpool lane. I know that's a very small example of that, but that's the law. I don't agree with it, but I have to follow it. Because if I don't, I'm going to get a ticket, and if I don't pay that ticket, I'm going to get fines, and then I'm going to go to jail for a warrant.
Technically, the signs say 2 or more persons, and a person with the legal definitions, a corporation is included in that. So if you have a trust, you can drive in the carpool lane. Corporations qualify as people. I get you. I'm just splitting hairs on legalese.
So again, I've given you a legal order not to drive. How you interpret that and what you do with that is up to you. I'm just telling you that you take an extreme risk by driving tonight. Okay?
Yeah, I hear you.
I hope I've answered any of your questions. I'm sorry that this had to be the final conclusion to this. It
didn't have to be, Matt. It didn't have to be. You could let me make it home tonight without going. You could just go.
License and registration and insurance. But
morally, I can't do it, man.
I'm not going to take any more of your time, Stephen. Thank you for being so cordial to me because I've had interactions that didn't go like this.
Sure.
And I appreciate at least your respect and candor with me. So I'm going to be on my way. Like I said, you have a legal lawful order not to drive. If you drive, you run the risk of having your vehicle impounded. Okay.
Hey, at what point do you go east?
What point do I go east? Well, I'm not going to tell you that.
I know.
All right, Stephen. Good luck to you. Be safe tonight.
Yeah, thanks, Matt.